now at 15B. 15B is a resolution authorizing the City of Huntsville Department of Urban Development to prepare a project plan for the development of a proposed tax increment financing district, tentatively named TIF D6, which district encompasses approximately 7,131 acres, more or less, in accordance with Alabama Code 1199-1. The chair moves for approval.
Second.
Second by Dr. Showers. Mr. Davis, could you explain this, please?
Council members, we're proposing to you tonight to create TIF District Number 6. It would be the 7th TIF in the city of Huntsville that we've embarked on. This TIF lies in Limestone County and is just a little over 7,100 acres. And it predominantly lies in the what we call the Greenbrier corridor of Exit 3 and runs practically north and south from I-565 to Huntsville Browns Ferry. Its west boundary is Mooresville Road and is about a half a mile east of Greenbrier Road for the east boundary. I've put the map up for you to be able to see. If you approve this tonight, we will, the next step, we will bring several other items to you for vote for council to officially adopt this TIF and go into a financial package for the public infrastructure. Tonight, you're only approving us the authority to go create that plan and bring it before you, is what we're asking you to vote on tonight. Should you move forward with that vote, I've got one more slide just to kind of go over what that project plan would include. First and foremost, it would be to complete Greenbrier Parkway extension. The small portion that you see in green is under construction. It starts right at our fire station on Greenbrier Road and runs north to the Norfolk Southern Rail along the frontage of the Polaris campus. With a TIF 6, we would take it from the Norfolk Southern Rail to Huntsville Browns Ferry Road to fully realize a connection that would also allow logistics for both jobs and the trucks that would need to continue to gain exposure and prosperity in the job growth that we're seeing in this area from I-65 to I-565 connection. Another project would be to start there on the southern portion of Greenbrier Parkway and go across I-565 on a small portion of Swancott Road. The southern portion of Greenbrier Road where it crosses I-565 is another area that's predominantly undeveloped that we think has great potential to develop both in jobs and from a retail commercial standpoint. The next project would be improvements to Old Highway 20. Highway 20 is currently a small two-lane road that is seeing an increase in traffic, and we think that demand will only increase. Again, predominantly undeveloped that we, from our Sasaki master plan that we brought before you to adopt 4 or 5 years ago for our annexed lands in Limestone County. This was a major corridor that was identified to be a retail and essentially the University Drive of our annexed Limestone County. So we would 5-lane and improve that. Another project would be to run sanitary sewer north and south along Limestone Creek from I-565 to the TVA mega site. That sewer line would pick up not only the Polaris that is under construction, but many sites along that Greenbrier Parkway corridor, as Mayor Battle mentioned earlier tonight, that we think is a phenomenal corridor to blossom with this public infrastructure, both in jobs, commercial, retail, and housing. And the last project that we would put in the project plan would be to the construction of a possible elementary school. The city already has been donated that land several years ago from the McDonald family, and was also donated a 60-acre location for a public park along Beaver Dam Creek. So that would be also included in the plan. Again, our main focus at this time would be to start Greenbrier Parkway, and then just to give most of you have went through a TIF, but those who have not, under the TIF format, we have 5 years to encumber expenditures within that TIF district. We would not encumber all these projects in year one. I think the first project that we would encumber would be Greenbrier Parkway. We feel that the Polaris investment that is going within the TIF boundary will pay for that, or we're confident that it will. And then as things develop in that 5-year period, we could come back to this council and ask for an increase in a bond issue within that TIF boundary for these other projects. We will be conservative in this TIF boundary to not overextend the city. We will only spend what the TIF boundary will produce. So we will not be taking any proceeds from any other portion of the city, north, south, east, or west, to build this infrastructure. That's why the TIF is being created, is to kind of let it pay for itself. And I'll answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you. Dr. Robinson?
I have a comment and then a question. One is with regard to the school. When the McDonald family gave that to the school system, the agreement included an agreement that the school system would build it when there were 800 certificates of occupancy. So if those 800 certificates are there, the school system is bound to build it. But last night we heard Dr. Wardinsky say that they have maxed out their ability to build any new buildings, that $200 million that they are investing in a very aggressive building program is going to be it for a while, right, because the rest of their effort is going to go toward fulfilling the demands of the Justice Department, the consent order. Mm-hmm. So this TIF will be very timely, because it will provide the resources that are needed to honor that agreement to build that school when the time comes and the demand is out there. So that's very timely that y'all have included it. Now my question is, why is the mega site not included in the TIF boundary?
That's a very good question. I'm going to go back to the previous slide so that you can see where the mega site is in relation to the TIF district we're proposing. The biggest reason is we think that the mega site would provide in the future yet another TIF. It's 1,300 acres. If you look at the historic TVA mega sites across TVA's service region, all but 2 of the 14 they originally created has over $1 billion investment on it today. So naturally, there's to the north and to the east more infrastructure needs in the annex portion of Limestone County within Huntsville. So we would like to hold that piece out to help further prosper areas should that develop. So that's why we left that out.
Mr. Culver?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. And Mr. Davis, again, I just applaud you guys for the work that you've put into this. I've been watching that, and it's going to satisfy a lot of concerns that we've had in West Huntsville, especially as it relates to whether or not we are forgotten. As you know, we've had town hall meetings over in Old Cobblestone area and other areas west of Huntsville, and it's kind of hard to justify, Mayor, law enforcement, police precinct, and other public safety services, fire, rescue, without that area really growing up to where it's warranted. I mean, we'd like to say that we want to give every resident in the city limits that same service that people get in the central city, but the reality of it is that it is not, in some cases, practical or feasible to do that. So I'm excited about this, and I guess we can move forward with plans on looking at precincts and police stations and things of that nature.
Councilman Carver, you make a great point. I think sometimes our city core forget that our citizens in Limestone County, they're citizens of Huntsville. They're incorporated. We have subdivisions out there. They want the same quality of life that our citizens in North Huntsville, the core of the city, and South Huntsville has. Creating this TIF and getting that infrastructure in place to encourage, retail and commercial development and industry development to bring in more tax revenue allows us to accelerate those quality of life issues that they ask for out there.
Absolutely. And if I understand correctly, also, this is the largest TIF that we've done in terms of land.
It is. And that's not for us to try to force development to happen. Development will happen naturally on its own, between a landowner and that private entity that wants to develop. This is just allowing us to create the infrastructure within an area that we think is prime for development, to set the conditions and the environment for that transaction to occur.
Absolutely. And I know that these businesses that are coming in are not necessarily the kinds of businesses that will be going into like a Commons Research Park, which at one time was 97% at a 97% occupancy rate. I know it has dropped now to 80 something, but with that, this is going to afford us an opportunity to have a place for these businesses when we try to attract them to Huntsville.
Yeah, and one of the things we're seeing, and Mayor Bowles brought up several times, is we've got companies in Research Park that that it's a professional environment, it's research and development, but a lot of those companies are now going to production or R&D, taking that research and development and putting it out in the workforce, and we've got to capture that, and we're seeing some of those areas look out in this area that we can create 50 to 100 acre spots for that company instead of moving it to Colorado Springs or or Texas can do the research and development and then put it into production here in Huntsville. So we're trying to stay ahead of that curve.
Great.
If I might remind council, we are working very closely with our partners in Limestone County. This TIF is not our property. It is our property in partnership with Limestone County, because Limestone County is where this is located, and we work in conjunction with them to make this happen, so that it happens for the good of the whole area. To our partners that we have been working with over the past, the past 3 years, thank you for your partnership. It's been a great partnership. They are they have worked with us very, very closely, and this is the starting of our side of it. They still have to do their side of it. So we will be kind of hand in hand as we move through this process, where both governments are very comfortable with it.
Great. Very good.
Mr. Davis, we've been talking about our partners. Normally we partner with the Huntsville City Schools and the Madison County Commission, and I have to notify those two entities of all we do in TIFs. Who will we be partnering with in this? The Huntsville City School System, the Limestone County government?
And Limestone County Schools. So that will.
They
if
have
you vote-
they have their own school system, Limestone County school system?
Correct.
Okay.
And if you approve this tonight, we will go ahead and go formulate that project plan, and then that's when that process will start.
Okay. The mayor, I have not been in touch with the Limestone County school system, so I hope that you have talked to them.
The chairman of their county commission has been talking to them as we've gone through this, and Limestone County School Board knows that we're working.
Okay,
this too.
thank you. I was just making sure that, because I hadn't heard their school system mentioned, and I knew I haven't talked to them, so
We have had that conversation
Okay.
with Dr. Sisk and Chairman Yarborough.
thank you. Further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It carries.
Thank you.
C is a resolution authorizing the president or president pro tem to make written or other submissions as required and give notices or notifications as required by Alabama Code 1199-1 with respect to consideration of tentatively named TIF D6 on behalf of the City Council of the City of Huntsville, Alabama. The chairman is for approval.
Second.
Second by Dr. Showers. Discussion. Council members, this just gives us the authority to notify these governments. Anything else on this? Call for vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. K is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a real estate purchase and sales agreement between the City of Huntsville and John William Proctor. Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Dr. Showers, second by Dr. Robinson. Mr. Davis?
Council members, this real estate transaction is to allow us, I wish I'd have kept the map up, the portion that you saw in green of Greenbrier Parkway that has started construction, it is allowing us to buy right-of-way for that and also to create a railroad spur into this economic development corridor that we spoke about.
Further discussion? Questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It carries. L is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an amendment number 1 to the real estate purchase and sales agreement between the City of Huntsville and John William Proctor.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Dr. Showers, second by Dr. Robinson. Mr. Davis?
Council members, the original real estate agreement that was crafted by outside legal counsel had a closing date, which was actually tomorrow, and we did not want that. So this amendment allows us to close in August. We just wanted a time gap to finish deeds and the certain legal documents. So all this does is amend our deadline to close with the landowner.
Thank you. Further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. V